In this AirTech Sling 3 review, I'm gonna show you everything you need to know about this sling. I'm gonna compare it to the V2 version. I'm gonna talk to you about the V3 XPAC version. Got a silky feel to it, theft deterrent system. Don't understand why Air did that. And if you're just not feeling these vibes, I'll make some alternative sling recommendations for some bags that might better suit your needs. But first up, let's talk about the gist of the AirTech Sling 3. Because holy moly, let me tell you, I am excited and nervous. Why, you might ask? Well, I've reviewed a lot of bags. Many bags have been reviewed. And out of all the bags that I've reviewed, the AirTech Sling V2 might be my favorite of all time, because it's just so cool. It's not everybody's favorite, but it just really worked for me. It's like this cool like messenger slash crossbody slash single shoulder backpack slash briefcase that can fit my laptop and tech essentials for a day working at a coffee shop. And that to me is just fantastic. So, when they came out with V3, I was nervous and excited, right? Like, will it stand up to V2 for me? And the answer to that question is yes and no. Real quick, let's just go over the 3 biggest differences between V2 and V3. V2 had darker internal materials with their own design, and V3, much lighter and a much more minimalist pocket configuration. Change number 2 is that on V2, there was its own separate laptop compartment, but on V3, that's been consolidated into the actual main compartment. There's no second laptop tech area. It's all in the main compartment. And difference number 3 is that on V2, the shoulder strap was locked into place, but on V3, you can see that it's now interchangeable. It's connected by 2 buckles, so you can switch the sides to fit your preferences. And then comparing the XPAC version of V3 to the Cordura version, the XPAC version uses XPAC. And the interior colors are drastically different. As opposed to kind of the standard gray on the Cordura version, the XPAC version uses a high-vis neon orange that you are going to love or you're going to hate. Margaret, do you love it or hate it? Margaret, no like. It's kind of grown on me a little bit though. Also should be noted that the lining in the XPAC version uses a ripstop fabric as opposed to the Cordura version, which is not ripstop. On the Cordura version, there's no PU coated zippers. But on the XPAC version, both the sunglasses pocket zipper and the zipper to the main compartment are in fact PU coated. The AirTech Sling 3 currently comes in one color option, black. The size is 9 liters, which is definitely small for everyday carry considering that most everyday carry backpacks are like 20 to 22 liters, right? This is half the size of that. The dimensions are about 16 inches wide, 10 inches tall, and a couple inches deep. Air advertises this sling as weighing 1.3 pounds. As you can see, I'm getting 1.3, 1.4, so perfect there. This is the AirTech Sling 3 when it's empty. This is the AirTech Sling 3 when it's worn on me. For reference, I'm 5'8". And this is the AirTech Sling 3 when it's worn on our media manager, Margaret, who's 5'2". And don't worry, I'm gonna pack it out throughout the entire review so you can see exactly what it fits. All Air products are protected by their lifetime warranty against manufacturing defects. And for all that, this sling, as of recording, currently runs around $135 US. And if at any point in this review you're thinking to yourself, well, I have tech, and this is a tech sling, and 3 is my favorite number, I'm gonna buy one. And you're gonna make a purchase, we do ask that you do so using the first link in the description below. Reason being, that link makes sure that you get the best price, and we oftentimes have discount codes. And that link also helps us support the Nomads Nation team so we can keep making the best darn bag reviews on the web. Thank you very much. Okay, let's talk about the outside of the AirTech Sling 3. First up, fabrics. Like I said, you got 2 options. I think the XPAC version is actually more expensive. It might be closer to $150 USD. And the reason being, XPAC is just a more expensive fabric. XPAC is the same cloth that sailboats use on their sails. A little crunchy. You hear that crunch? That's the sound of sailing the 7 seas, baby. And that's the sound of ultimate weather resistance. Rain just kind of shoots right off this MFer. I'm curious though, like, which one do you like more? Are you on Team Cordura or Team XPAC? I can't believe it, but I think I'm on Team XPAC. I was never an XPAC person, but this one's kind of like swaying me a little bit. But our media manager, Margaret's definitely on Team Cordura, so settle the debate once and for all. XPAC, Cordura, let me hear your thoughts in the comments below. Now for the Cordura version, we actually have 2 fabrics. As I pull out my magnifying glass, the first one is a Cordura ballistic nylon, but it's got what we call in the industry a face. And that just means there's like a coating that helps with weather resistance. then the other material, oh God, you're beautiful. That's 1680D Cordura ballistic nylon. Ballistic nylon was developed by the military many years back, which means it's highly durable and it's highly weather resistant, albeit not quite as weather resistant as the XPAC version, but it still will get the job done. From there, let's talk about branding. You gotta love a bag that doesn't have any super loud branding on it. All Air does is this subtle little tag right there on the side. Flipping over to the back, we have a top handle. This top handle uses a nice nylon webbing, got a silky feel to it, and enough space to be able to easily grab. But really, I don't think you're gonna be carrying this bag in brief mode that long. Well, actually, I don't know, that's on the 2 version, because, all right, let's talk about this whole shoulder strap situation. Because I don't have my feelings 100% formulated yet, so if I ramble a little bit, apologies. So you can see on V2, it had the shoulder strap, but it was connected into place. That dude is sewn in there. No buckles, which meant kind of like less versatility, but I also think it meant more comfort, because although you were constricted to wear it a certain way, it felt really nice that way. Versus the new one, the buckles, they just kind of feel a little more noticeable. But on the flip side, one thing I like is that because they have the buckles, you can do 2 things. One, you can take this dude off and switch sides. Therefore, you know, if you want to carry it on your right shoulder or your left shoulder, you can do that. Or 2, like I said, if you're in briefcase mode, you can just carry this thing as so, but the problem with that is that the buckles don't have anywhere to stow away into, which I don't understand why Air did that. But also, like, I know those things are so much easier said than done. Like, you have it in your mind, you're like, no, it's just so easy. But in reality, these things are always more complicated to like actually execute and make it happen. And the reason I know that is, I don't know if you know this, but not only do I review slings and bags on this channel, but I'm actually building my own backpack and I'm documenting the entire process. So if you want to see me build a backpack from the ground up, like I'm talking like a highly technical bag that we made from scratch, and you want to help vote in some of the key features, be sure to check out the second link in the description below. That link will tell you more about the Building a Backpack project and where we currently are and how you can get involved. It's a really cool project. We're probably gonna make a sling after we make the bag, so you don't wanna miss out on that, all the voting that we're doing. Second link in the description. I hope to see you in your inbox. Back to this guy. The shoulder strap itself is extremely well padded. The shoulder strap also uses premium hardware from Duraflex. They make some of the best hardware in the world. It's super easy to adjust and tighten and loosen, and plus you have this dangle stopper right here, which helps keep the nylon webbing in its place, tucked away. Hashtag stop the dangle. Ultimately, I've worn it a little bit. I'm gonna go test it outside now. Aaron, 17 minutes from now, do you have a clearer idea of how you feel about the comfort of the Air Tech Sling 3? It's complicated. I want to be very clear. It's not that it's uncomfortable. I mean, that padding is insane. The mesh feels nice. There's a lot of comfort going on. There's just some things that I'm noticing. And like sometimes when you're wearing a bag, you don't want to notice things, because not that noticing it is uncomfortable, but you just notice it, right? Like for instance, on the shoulder strap right here, we got this little cut, right? And that's just kind of like, I don't know, it feels like it's pressing against my shoulder. Also, it's complicated though, because it depends where you're wearing this sling. Are you going into like this mode? Are you going into front mode? Are you going into side messenger mode? So overall, I'd say that Air's inclusion of the double buckles and changing the strap ever so slightly has made the thing a little bit more complicated. I think that I found V2 to be more comfortable across the board, but I'm not gonna say V3 is uncomfortable. I think it gets the job done, and the longer you wear it, I think the more the strap might break in. The jury's still a bit out. Sorry for the confusion, but it's a bit complicated. Let's take it back up to the office. Okay, let's move on and talk about the inside of the Air Tech Sling 3. We got 2 compartments. On the top, we have this zippered pocket, which is lined with a gray nylon fabric. V2 used a microfiber material in this pocket, which I much preferred. Because it's a pocket you want to put your sunnies in, you know, and that microfiber just made your sunnies feel a little bit more safe. Nothing against this fabric, I just preferred the microfiber, but this still works. And speaking of the main compartment, let's get in there, but actually, let me explain something about the zippers real fast. Because in case you aren't aware, Air zippers have this nifty little feature. We can go ahead and weave them into one another, which kind of creates like a theft deterrent system. It's not perfect, but it's meant to deter, and deter it will. Take that, thieves. And then when you're in the main compartment, kaboom. Now let's talk about the glaring issue of the laptop compartment now being put into the main compartment. You're probably wondering, Aaron, do you like that? I also am not 100% sure, but I'm definitely leaning more towards liking that than I am the new shoulder strap buckle configuration. Reason being is that I think that it actually increases the capacity ever so slightly, because by eliminating what would have been another compartment here, we've now merged them. They become one, which therefore means there's a bit more space in the actual main compartment. In the main compartment, we have the laptop sleeve, second sleeve right here for documents, 1, 2, 3 smaller pockets that all use Air's new signature elastic meshy material that I quite like. And then on the flip side, we've got one pocket up here that also has a super nifty AirTag holder. Let's pack it out. Let's see if it can handle some big old headphones, notebook, battery, pen, some charging cables, some more charging cables, backup hard drive, some tape measure, umbrella, a Kindle. Let's start with that and see how it goes. And actually, we're gonna lead with the MacBook Pro. This is a 13-inch. Air claims that this Sling 3 can fit up to a 14-inch. One thing to say too is I love this laptop compartment. Tons of padding on the back, a bit of a false bottom, which means the laptop stops right here. So if you drop it, it's less likely to injure your most important piece of tech. Keep on loading it up. I'm gonna throw my notebook in this documents sleeve and the Kindle too. Smaller pockets, battery, hard drive, little pen. This pocket will throw some of the wires. And you can see, even though it looks like all these pockets are kind of bulging out, the Sling 3 actually has still got a decent little capacity in there. So we're gonna throw the umbrella at the bottom, tape measure on the side, and then over the head headphones right on top. Let's see if it'll zip up. Piece of cake. That's a piece of cake right there. And I think this perfectly encapsulates like what the Air Sling 3 is. It's a light EDC bag or the I'm just running to the coffee shop to get some work done bag. It's not gonna fit a ton of stuff, but the capacity, I think, for the size, still pretty impressive. And that is it. Let's talk about the overall pros and the cons of the Air Sling 3. Pro number 1 is the impressive versatility in the ways that it can be carried. Pro number 2 is the increase in main compartment capacity from V2. And pro number 3 is I love Air's selection of their new internal materials. But I got some cons as well. Here they are. Con number 1 is the jury is still out on the comfort and improvements of the shoulder strap system from V2. Con number 2 is I've noticed a lot of people complaining online saying there's not enough pockets in this main compartment. And con number 3, it just would have been really cool to have somewhere to stow away these big buckles when you're carrying it in brief mode. And just a reminder, if you've weighed out the pros and the cons and you are gonna make a purchase or you just wanna find out more information, we do ask that you do so using the first link in the description. Thank you very much. But maybe you're not quite sure, you wanna hear about my alternative suggestions. I got 1, 2, 3 of them for you. Alternative suggestion number 1 is the Monarc Settra Sling. This is for you if you're looking for a sling that can handle a laptop, but you're a bit more sporty. This has got kind of a more of a military, outdoorsy look. And if you're a cyclist, it's got like this third leg that can like wrap around your torso, like securing it to your body as you're biking on through your day. It's a pretty cool sling. I like it a lot. And to learn more about it, just take a look at the description below and you'll find a link to our full review. Alternative recommendation number 2 is the modern Dayfarer Active Sling Pack. This is for you if you like the whole sling that can hold a laptop thing, but you're like, yo, I want it to look just like the freaking bomb. Because this is one of the coolest looking sling bags I've ever seen. It's like from the Matrix, dude. Tons of features, highly weather resistant. It can do this for God's sake. That's cool, right? Yeah, it's cool. And learn just how cool it is. Did a full review, and you can find that with a link in the description below. And alternative recommendation number 3 is gonna be the Air Travel Sling 2. This is for you if you're like, you know what, dude? I want Air, and I want a sling that can carry my laptop, but the Sling 3 just feels too tight. I need more space. That's what the Air Travel Sling 2 gives you. It's a monster, huge capacity, tons of pockets. And to learn more about this sling, just go ahead and watch this video right here. If you got any questions about the Air Sling 3 or any of the other slings that I mentioned, let me know in the comments below. I'll personally respond. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. My name is Aaron, this is Nomads Nation, and we'll catch you next time.